Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right, Cappies, let's go ahead and jump on into a storytelling for my Capricorns. I feel like I want to start out with a different deck here. Let us begin and see what our message is. Start out with kind of a message from the ancestors, but a different ancestor deck. Capricorns, Capricorns. What's the big message? How do we begin this one? I was going to say, well, the ancestors are silent. Embrace your inner gypsy. Freedom, fun, music. Ooh, that's nice. Um, it could be that our Capricorn really needs a chance to just get out there and either maybe somebody comes from a particular culture. I mean, it's very much looks like a Spanish or Latin in some capacity, whether this is Spain or Mexico. It looks more like Spain to me, but um, and we're talking about the inner gypsy. So someone may have that like broad world view, and that's kind of like crossing the entire European region and exploring this world. That could be the energy that someone has within them. Maybe they like a certain, I'm going to say this Capricorn likes a certain romantic vibe of freedom, and maybe delving into different cultures and maybe tasting different palettes from around the world. But I think they themselves could be someone who's very much like a jack of all trades, someone who really wants to experience as much in life as possible. That might be very appealing right now. And even the idea of like perhaps being more nomadic, more free spirited, had the ability to travel around, to not necessarily feel beholden to one zip code, could be really important right now to our Capricorn. So let's keep that in mind as we begin this story, because I always love the free spirited energy. Um, this feels really, really lovely. We have farmer and we have friend, keeper of trust, companion, support, sharing of joy, cultivation, harvest, and land. If our character had been pretty tied to one area at one point in time, that may be why they are now saying, you know what? It's not like I don't want to remember where I came from, but I do want a chance to roam. Maybe this character has been very tied down for a lot of their life, and they're just getting this taste of real freedom. This could be a character who has maybe they have a friend staying at their home so they can go out in their RV or something, or caravan, and go and travel. Maybe somebody wants to, even later on in life, they want to join some dance troupe and travel around a bit, and they have a friend staying and taking care of their dogs. That was a very specific story, but we do have that on these cards. I feel like someone who previously had a lot of responsibilities and handled them well has also created a space for themselves to finally, and I do say finally, get out there and explore something. Do something a little bit exciting. Maybe someone is part of a dance troupe or a music and dance troupe. There's like a little, even if it's a mini tour, even if it's just like, oh, we're just driving 2 hours away for a performance and then coming back the next night. Still, the bottom line is something, there's this energy in our character's storyline right now where it's having this time and this space for fun, for enjoyment, for doing something that makes our character feel very free after having maybe really towed the line. And farmers don't get to travel so much because there's work to be done, and you can't just leave your crops unwatered, and you can't leave your livestock untended. So there's a lot of responsibility that doesn't just stop, if you work a 9 to 5, because you're dealing with living things that require 24-hour care. So for our character to finally break away from 24-hour care, maybe somebody's been a caregiver, but they finally are getting a chance to do something that is creative, that is enjoyable, that is fun, that is freeing. And I think this was really important for our Capricorn. Tell me, why is that important? I mean, I would say it's important just because every character believes, or deserves a chance to follow these things, or at least I believe they do. We've got Ace of Pentacles. Oh, this could be a whole change in life. This could be somebody who is selling the farm and going, and being more nomadic. Maybe they're selling the home and they want to, downsize. This is a change, major change in Capricorn's life. I'm going to say we keep seeing very colorful clothing. This could also be a character that's actually retiring from something and the real them can finally come out. Maybe they had to wear a certain uniform, a certain look for their career path for many, many years. Now that they don't, it's like, I'm wearing brightly colored this and that. I'm going to dress like in this kind of bohemian, more fun, more maybe a little more daring, maybe a little more low cut, whatever it is. This character, this Capricorn's getting their sexy on. They're getting their sense of freedom going, and it's a new way of life for them. King of Swords. I'm going to say this. It keeps feeling like somebody dresses almost in costumes now, or will once they make these changes. And it's something that they've wanted to do for a long time. And why can't they? If I feel like wearing a crown today, I'm wearing a crown today. Maybe somebody's into costuming. I don't know. But even though we're talking about Capricorn, this is depicting like Capricorn's life was pretty, I'll say, rigid. They had to play a very strong and powerful role where they had to be the reliable one day after day after day. And then they started to think, God, I'd love to not be always the reliable one, but I can't change it yet, but I can't. And then finally one day they are. You notice it's a feminine king also. I almost feel like we might be telling the story of a character who maybe was playing both roles, both mom and dad. They were playing the breadwinner and the nurturer. They were playing the role to everybody in their lives. And it didn't leave any space for their own personal identity to come out because they had to be, the mom and the father who gave tough love to the kids and, had to really make sure that life was structured for other people so other people could thrive. And it was at the expense of their own inner nature, which this Capricorn is, I'm going to say, like an artist by nature. There's a real powerful, like if they could have done anything in their lives, they might have wanted to go and become a flamenco dancer, or they wanted to, travel around and have a really awesome opportunity to just do something like on stage or something like that. Well, they're finally getting this opportunity. I do think that there is an important friend who's involved in helping this happen. Someone who they either, it works for them and it works for Capricorn. I don't think Capricorn has to sacrifice everything in order to make this work. I think that there's like this natural, like I say, a friend or somebody that is in their life where what Capricorn leaves behind, it's almost like Capricorn could be emptying out all kinds of worldly goods and giving them to their friends as well, giving a friend a place to stay, saying, I'm going to be gone for 4 months. You don't have to pay rent, but just take care of everything for me. So then I can go off and do this other thing. And it's like, it's working so seamlessly for all parties involved. I think it's a really amazing opportunity for this Capricorn. Tell me, what are they going to find on this adventure? As this Capricorn kind of embraces a more playful life. Oh, Queen of Wands. Again with the costumes. The Death card, the Queen of Cups. All right, so I'm telling you, this Capricorn ain't coming home. This Capricorn has been let out of their cage. The lioness has been uncaged and is on the prowl. We keep seeing really strong feminines in this. It doesn't mean that the Capricorn has to be a feminine per se, but there's a lot of divine feminine energy rolling off of this storytelling. This is somebody who, again, this could depict different countries they're going to go visit. This could be, because I always look at the red, green, and white as like, flag colors of different nations. And there's quite a few different nations that have those colors. Could represent places they're going to go visit. There's an aspect of, obviously Egypt associated with this. But we have a character that is really stepping into their, even if this is a character who didn't used to like show their midriff or something, They start to now. The way they dress is a little bit more daring. The way they do things, they're a little bolder. They're a little bit more um, over the top. I kind of feel like this character, they have the it factor. This Capricorn could have been famous a long time ago. People, I think they downplayed their attractiveness and their kind of whatever their certain panache is. They have this ability to dress like they're on a Beyonce tour and they look freaking fantastic. But they haven't been allowed to do that in their daily life because of the career path that they were in and because of the responsibilities. Now that their true self is shining, I feel like basically their charisma and their big personality is coming out of the box that it's been trapped in for so long, and you cannot put it back in the box. It's like one of those gel foam mattresses. Once you unbox that sucker, you ain't ever getting it back in that box because you can't suck all the air back out of it. You just can't, you know? And I feel like that's Capricorn. I feel like their personal power, their personal attractiveness is going to keep expanding their creative flow. If this person is really into costuming or something like that, they get more daring, more bold, more their authentic self. And I think it's a really lovely vibe. They're not going back in their box. Not at all. This Capricorn, I mean, this could be somebody who's retired and they thought they were just going to finally take a trip. And instead they're like, I'm moving permanently to Boca Raton. So, hey, friend of mine, do you want to just stay in my house? Because I'm not coming back for that house. You know, it feels like they are fully embracing where they're at, who they are. We got a Prince of Cups in the reverse. We got a King of Swords in the reverse. If our character, they are definitely abandoning their old life, their old way. And if our Capricorn once upon a time was playing like second fiddle to someone, or if they were saying, I mean, at some point in time, probably myself and a romantic partner eventually will get back together. And even if they've been hoping for that, they hope for that no longer. They don't have any romance in their hearts for somebody who's still in a box. They've broken away from the old version of them. They can't go back in the box. And so the kind of person that they could fall in love with is not anyone that they would have fallen in love with in the past. They are a new version of themselves. Therefore, who they're attracted to is totally different now. That's very exciting. Very exciting. We've got the Seven of Wands in the reverse. We've got the Two of Pentacles in the reverse. I don't think that there's any crisis of identity or crisis of like, oh, what am I doing? Have I radically changed everything? And this is just going to be a moment where I'm going to regret it and feel silly later. No, I think for this character in this story, our Capricorn has really found themselves and they realize I shine so much brighter as my authentic self. This is not like a midlife crisis storyline for our fictional character. This is them genuinely tapping into the powerful person that they've always been, but they really had to confine that person. Almost like their personality would have been too big to fit in the life that they were living. And so what did they need to do? They needed to move on from that style of life and get out into this other bigger life that can actually contain their personality and welcome their personality. And I think our character is just like, yeah, I'm positive I'm making the right choices. I'm not in conflict with myself. I don't feel a sense of guilt. I feel really happy that I'm doing what I need to. We got a Tower in the reverse. We got a Prince of Wands upright. When it comes to their sensuality, this also is a Capricorn that is not going to be holding back. I don't think that they have any, let me put it this way. There isn't anything that they are really changing. They're simply exploring other avenues that already existed within themselves. If I don't think that this character is instantly looking for some romantic partner, I think that they're looking for romantic adventures, but not necessarily a long-term partner yet. I mean, they just barely got their freedom. So it kind of makes sense that they're saying, look, I just finally want to, and look, this doesn't have to be like intimate relationships. It's like, maybe I just want to go out dancing and I want to dance with anyone I feel like. I don't want anybody making claims on me. I want to dance with 10 different people to feel 10 different dance styles. that can be, it's just an exploration kind of vibe, but it is exploring the things that they're passionate about and even the people they might be passionate to try dating. Doesn't mean that it has to go into, anybody's going home with anybody. It could be that though too. Whatever this is, our Capricorn's going to follow it as far as they choose to follow it without feeling guilty about it, because it's like, what do you mean? I'm a grown up making adult choices. Who do I answer to? I can choose whatever I need to choose for myself. Ultimately, this is not a life of indulgence or crazy, like, oh my God, I've been in a box so long. Now I just have to go and, live a wild life. It's not that, because we actually have a spiritual balance here. It's more like our character gets to be the creative that they've always been. They are more in touch with their authentic self now, and they are living a more authentic life without sacrificing anything that they truly believe in. They're not just going wild, but they are going to wind up finding themselves having the happiest life they've ever lived with that star card here. And that does lead them to that Six of Cups. So there is an important soulmate on the horizon. I just don't think that their whole goal was like, let me go find the perfect romantic partner. Their goal in this story was, let me do the things that I need to for my soul. Let me have some taste of freedom. Let me explore and show my own true personality. Let me do the things that I have prevented myself from doing for so many years. And in doing that, they discover, oh my God, this feels so much better to be the real me. Maybe I dress a little brighter. Maybe I wear pearls in my hair and sometimes feel like a mermaid. Hey, I can do it if I want to. But ultimately, as they explore more and more of who they really are, the more they realize, I'm not even attracted to anybody from my past anymore. And gosh, I'm really sure that I've made changes and there's more to explore. And I'm not going to force myself into anything to, finding a partner or anything like that, because this is more about me finding peace than it is about finding a relationship. But ironically, that's exactly the energy that leads them to a soulmate. Why? Because they're not clamoring for it. They're not starved for it. They're not in a place of want. They're in a place of satisfaction. That's a really nice energy. Let me just check real quick what happens with whatever life they kind of left behind and that they kind of more or less donated it to a friend. That's the best way I could say that. What happens with the previous, you know, energy that this stuff that they had cultivated? We have the Sun, we have the Queen of Cups, we have a Three of Swords. I have to say that even if whomever they kind of donate their previous life to says, oh man, I do miss Capricorn, at the same time, what they gift this other person is perfect for them. This other character feels so happy, feels so probably a huge debt of gratitude as well. It's almost like two people wind up having much better lives because Capricorn had kind of outgrown something, and so they gift it to a friend, and that friend, it's exactly what they need to find their truest happiness and path also. But I do feel like there's some element of like, but man, I wish Capricorn was still around. I don't think this friend, I mean, this won't be the last time that our Capricorn sees this person, but it definitely feels like Capricorn is donating their old life to someone else, the same way we would donate, clothing that we're not going to wear anymore. This, like I say, though, it could have been an entire, like stay in my home, take over my lease, live in my apartment. I'm taking off. I got to go live somewhere else. And this friend is like, oh my God, this is the best place I've ever lived. I'm so glad I have it, even though it's a little bittersweet, because now I lost Capricorn too. But I'm glad I got Capricorn's old house. So that's the way this one goes. That's really sweet. You guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Lots of love to you guys. I'll see you in the next ones. I will be doing other zodiacs tonight, and I'll also be going live on my other channel, probably not too far from now. Probably after one or two more zodiacs, I'll go live on my other channel and do some free reads for subscribers over there. All right, guys, take care. Bye-bye.